A very good morning to you all. Jumilani? No, you're not from here. I need you, Jumilani. It's indeed an honor for me to be with the business community and other stakeholders this morning to chart the way forward in terms of taking our country to the next level of socio-economic development. The government of Botswana has always prioritized public-private sector dialogue through platforms such as the National Business Conference, NBC, which we are attending today in this beautiful city of Francistown. As has been said by the CEO, this biennial engagement has been taking place relatively regularly since its inception in 1988, save for the last few years because of the global pandemic, COVID-19. We could not hold this conference in the year 2020 because of COVID, and thankfully we have, through your resilience, ladies and gentlemen, managed to contain the COVID-19 outbreak, and this has resulted in the relaxation of the COVID-19 health restrictions. That notwithstanding, we cannot and must not let our guard down. I'd like you, perhaps irregular as it might be, to genuinely applaud yourselves for the work you've done to keep yourselves alive. If you didn't keep yourself alive, we wouldn't be here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm very grateful that after a 2-year hiatus, we are finally able to meet in person. This will give us the opportunity to discuss and share thoughts on how to transform Botswana from an upper middle income country to a high income one. We will also share our thoughts and ideas in expediting economic recovery post-COVID-19. This conference is a true reflection of our quest for inclusivity in our endeavor to promote private sector-led economic recovery and growth. And I say that quite deliberately because the better half of last week, my cabinet and I, with our accounting officers, spent an intense amount of time deliberating on how we can recover fastest from our being slowed down by the COVID-19 pandemic in the 2 financial years remaining in our term. But now, it will be your turn. As you're all aware, we are now grappling with the downsides of the restrictive measures that economies around the world, including Botswana, implemented to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. One such effect, which constrains economic activity after COVID-19 restrictions were lifted, is global supply chain bottlenecks, which lead to the delays in the delivery of inputs for production. As if that was not enough, war broke out earlier this year between Russia and Ukraine, which led to increases in fuel prices, transportation costs, food, and other commodities. Consequently, there's been a rise in the cost of living, which saw inflation in Botswana reach an unprecedented level of 14.6% in August of this year, the highest rate since December 2008, in the height of the global downfall, financial crisis, during which it only got to 13.7%. This figure goes far beyond the Botswana Central Bank's monetary policy range, which is between 3 and 6%, which we have maintained all along. In order to address the soaring inflation in August this year, my government took the decision to reduce the rate of value-added tax by 2% for a limited period of 6 months. Similarly, government also zero-rated VAT on the supply of liquefied petroleum gas and cooking oil for 6 months. An increase was also made on student allowances and old age pensions to cushion the beneficiaries against this financial squeeze. Given that cattle rearing is the main source of livelihoods of the majority of rural Botswana, the government found it prudent to extend financial support to the Botswana Meat Commission to ease the abattoir's cash flow so that it pays farmers and other suppliers on time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the government cannot fight inflation alone. I therefore call upon all of you to raise productivity levels of your companies so as to keep inflation in check. An environment of high productivity, low and stable inflation would pave the way for us to achieve a high income status. It's an essential prerequisite. I look forward to cutting-edge ideas from this conference on how to boost productivity so as to maintain a low and stable inflationary environment. Productivity is, after all, important to get our economy growing at a very high rate. The theme of this conference is Roadmap to High Income Accelerating Transformation. This theme is relevant because it is inspired by our own National Vision 2036, which was launched in 2016 following extensive consultations with Botswana across the length and breadth of the country. Vision 2036 envisages Botswana as a high-income and an open coast, a high-income country with an export-led economy underpinned by diversified, inclusive, and sustainable growth driven by high levels of productivity, close quote. Our Vision 2036 is anchored on 4 pillars, namely sustainable economic development, human and social development, sustainable environment, and governance, peace, and security. In your role as active participants in the private sector development, I implore you to come up with ideas and strategies that will advance all these pillars. We need to get the economy on a path of high income growth to create jobs for our citizens, particularly the youth, who constitute 60% of our population. Ladies and gentlemen and conference delegates, this is an important conference where I expect you to use the opportunity to contribute to the review of existing policies and the regulatory environment, as well as propose new and transformative reforms. The government continues to launch policy reviews and legislative reforms to improve the welfare of Botswana. And yes, you will find we have a listening ear. I'm confident that all these will be done in the spirit of removing barriers while promoting trade investment within and outside our borders. I have absolutely no doubt that we can achieve these targets if we are all united in contributing to the development of this country. As you're all aware, the government continues to invest in the implementation of the Cluster Development Initiative in an effort to diversify the economy. Currently, 4 cluster strategies, which include beef, small stock, tourism, and financial and knowledge-intensive services, are being implemented. We remain committed to accelerating the attainment of our national priorities of economic growth, economic diversification, and job creation. Through the research agenda, government seeks to accelerate economic development through key priorities such as value chain Furthermore, in April 2022, government signed into law the Economic Inclusion Act that seeks, among others, to promote effective participation of citizens in the economic growth and development of the economy. The law will further facilitate the enforcement of the citizen economic development initiatives. It's important, ladies and gentlemen, that we all embrace the motives of this law, for I know no country which develops and realizes high income status to the exclusion of its own citizens. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the African Continental Free Trade Area, 𝐓𝐶TA, offers a unique opportunity for investment and business growth in Botswana and across the African continent. The trade agreement also recognizes the need to build and improve the export capacity of both formal and informal service providers, with particular attention to small, medium, and micro enterprises in which women and youth actively participate. The development of SMEs remains pivotal to our national development efforts. And yes, that is why we have a brand new Ministry of Entrepreneurship. To take advantage of this opportunity, in Botswana, we have invested in the development of special economic zones, targeting particular sectors of the economy, such as manufacturing, health, and other services. This includes the diversification of the diamond industry, where we believe that as the world's largest diamond producer by value, we should be Africa's diamond jewelry manufacturing and value chain development hub of the world. As a nation, we're working hard to remove cross-border barriers to inter-Africa trade, to liberalize our markets, and make African products more competitive regionally and globally. According to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, the agreement is expected to boost intra-Africa trade in goods and services by up to 25% by 2040. In conclusion, let me take this opportunity to thank Business Botswana and other stakeholders for making this conference a reality, particularly in these sparkling new premises. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I wish you all a very productive deliberations and declare officially the 16th National Business Conference officially open. I thank you. Apulaye.